Good day, I'm Dr. Sujay Walia, and welcome to part 2 of our series. I closed in the last video talking about your dream and asking you to write it down, to write it plain, to write it clear, and to use all of your senses to envision what it is that you wanted out of life. And writing that dream is a great first step. But that's all it is, a first step. Many of you still struggle with the I'm not good enough syndrome, and that comes in many forms. I'm not smart enough. I'm not from the right family. I'm not from the right country. I'm not the right skin tone. I'm not the right gender. Whatever it is, somewhere on your journey of life, you got hurt, you felt pain, and you stopped believing in yourself. Today, I want us to change all of that. Today, we're going to talk about how you can change your programming. You see the gold medal athlete, the A-list actor, the platinum singer, and of course the billionaire businessman, and you want all of that. You just look at them and you say, I want that joy and that happiness that they exude, because you're thinking success is why they're so happy. But then you start to self-sabotage. You say things like, well, I would smile like that if I had all that fame and that money that they have. And I remember in our last session, I spoke about the accolades and the money, that these were only the perks of success. Remember that? Accolades and money are the perks of success. Think about Robin Williams and Whitney Houston, two hugely famous persons in their respective fields. They should be happy. They have all the success, they have all the fame, they have all the money. But even with all of that, they had enough unhappiness and enough pain in their life for their deaths to be ruled as suicide. Success is what you define it to be. And clearly for them, it was not about the fame and it was not about the money. So we continue to self-sabotage. We continue to say things like, I'm not talented enough, or I'm not from the right family, or I wish I were from that country, or I wish I had that education. If I had these things, then maybe I would be successful. Or we say, if I were a man, I would have that success. If I were a woman, I would have that success. Maybe if I were a little bigger or I were a little slimmer. If, then. And we stack these things on top of each other, one on the other. And it's always a negativity that is pouring through us. But I want you to think, if only, then I could have that. Is that true? If only, then I could have that level of, it stops us from having the happiness and the success we want. I want you to do an exercise with me. I want you to think about these rocks. Maybe close your eyes and imagine for each, if I were bright enough, if I were, smart enough, if I were slimmer, whatever it is that you say to yourself, imagine each one of those things as being one of these large rocks that you're seeing on the screen now. Then I want you to think about putting each of those rocks in a knapsack, in a backpack, and carrying that with you. You're walking with you through life, carrying these things, because that is what is really happening. These are holding you down. Now I want you to think about the opposite. I want you to think about all the other things that could be true. I am enough. I'm smart enough. I'm bright enough. I can do this. And I want you to think about each of those things as a gold coin. And as you go through that same journey and you come across whatever obstacles you come across, you hand out one of your gold coin. But these are like magic gold coins, because as you hand them out, they replenish and they keep coming back. Which life do you think would be easier? The one with the rocks that you're lugging around with you and you can barely move under the weight of those negativity, of those rocks that heaviness, that burden? Or do you think it would be easier to carry your gold coins with you and hand them out every time you come across an obstacle, to just kind of part the way for you so you can move through with ease because you believe in yourself? That's what I want you to think about. Because most persons who have achieved a measure of success, who have gotten the trophy or who have won something, we only see the results, the trophies, the victories. And we wish we had those same results, but we start to discount the value that we bring to the table and say, oh, I can't do that, oh, I can't do that. But you know what's common in all those people? The gold medal athlete, the A-list actor, the platinum singer, the billionaire businessman. What is common in all of those persons? They all have purpose. They are driven by a clear destination. They know where they want to go, and they believe in themselves. Remember step 2 and step 3 of the steps to thrive? You have to believe that you are capable of doing it and that you deserve to achieve this level of success. That is what I'm driving home for you here. First, you write your dream, then you have to believe that you are capable of it. Then you have to believe that you deserve it. And all of these persons, all of them believed and they focused. And yes, most people still have imposter syndrome and wonder, should I be here? But they shelve that for the bigger picture, for what they want to achieve in life. They believe in themselves. And the thing is, if you think you can, you can. But if you think you can't, you can't. Either way, you are correct. We don't think about the steep hill that sometimes these successful people have to climb, and oftentimes by themselves, if you can believe that. And we don't think about that they were probably where you are right now. Maybe they were broke. Maybe they had bills to pay. Maybe they doubted themselves for a while. But then they also were driven, as I said before, by purpose. They knew what they wanted. They had a clear destination in mind and they went for it. And they also believed they can. And if you believe you can, you can. And if you believe you can't, you can't. Have you ever achieved something in life and you got there? And when you got there, you thought to yourself, this is it. I thought I'd be happier. Well, the reason you feel that way is not because you weren't bright enough or good enough or smart enough. Clearly you were. You achieved the goal. But as you would recall in our first video, success is how you define it. And what you had defined as success was not what you had achieved. Yes, you achieved it, but you didn't get what you wanted from it, because that is not what success was for you. So that's why we talk about what is success for you, and have that clarity of thought. Because once you have that, you move in the right direction and you follow your path versus the path that other persons have defined for you. So I want to share a little story about myself as it relates to what I believe success is. So I earned a doctoral degree. I graduated and I was super happy. But then I also baked cookies for my children and I felt equally happy, and maybe even more happy about baking the cookies. And I know some of you are thinking, what? Why? And it's not that I'm trying to diminish the work of being a doctoral student and graduating, because that was a lot of work. And it actually took me a long time to complete it, because I stopped and I paused and I thought to myself, do I really want this? And oh my God, this is so hard. But at the end of it, I've always known myself to be a good academic student. I've never thought, oh my goodness, I'm never going to finish this doctorate, or I can't do it because I'm not good enough. I always expected myself to cross that finish line and to walk away being Dr. Sajay Walia. And I did it. The kitchen, on the other hand, is like my torture house. I just don't. I just don't have success in the kitchen. You know, some people are just naturally good at cooking and everything that they cook tastes really good. Not me. I burn things. I mix up salt for sugar. That's what happens to me in the kitchen. So you can imagine my disdain, my distress when my kids say to me, well, you know, Mom, we want to bake some cookies and we don't want anybody else to help us. We want you to do it with us. That's a huge hurdle. Remember, I'm coming from burning things and I'm coming from mixing up salt and sugar. And I mean, the kitchen is just a disaster area for me. So I had to reprogram myself. I had to say things like, you know, I would get up and I would bounce in front of the mirror and get into my zone and change my body. And I would say to myself, if I can't, then I must. And I got that from Tony Robbins, by the way, who's one of my mentors. And I would pump up myself and, you know, I would say, I can do this. I mean, for heaven's sake, I have a doctorate. How hard can it be to bake cookies? I can do this. And I would, you know, I started researching every recipe. You would think that I was writing a doctoral thesis about how to bake the best cookies ever. But I did it. I pumped myself up. I got into the right mindset. I believed I could. I reprogrammed myself. And we went to work and we baked those cookies. And they were awesome. They were awesome. They were great. Kids loved them. So my question for you is this. How badly do you want success for yourself? Because you know what? Think about your cable remote. That remote can also work for your TV, right? It can also work for your TV. But does it come automatically programmed to, you know, change the channels on your television? No, you have to program it. If you want the remote for your cable box to work for your television, you have to program it that way. Well, guess what? Your mind is your remote. And your mind is neither programmed for success nor failure. You, by your experiences and the interpretation that you place on things, the meanings that you place on things that happen in your life, that is what creates that programming in your mind. So if you want to be successful, you need to change your programming. See where I'm going with this? You need to change your programming. So in our steps to thrive, again, a reminder, first we dream, then we believe that we are capable, then we believe that we deserve it. So your mission today, if you choose to accept it, is to write down all the negative things that you say about yourself in one column. And in the column right beside it, you are going to write an empowering statement that will just nullify what you've just written in the other column. And then I want you to practice that every day, to look at yourself in the mirror and to say, I am enough. I'm smart enough. I can do this. If I can't, then I must. Success is mine. Whatever it is, I want you to do that every day, to write down that negative list and then to write down the empowering list that's going to replace it. This is how you reprogram yourself. This is a step to that path. And that is your mission if you choose to accept it. You've written the dream and now you're full of self-confidence. Will success be automatic now? In my next video, I will talk about whether or not success will be automatic and what are some of the possible things that could derail you on your way to success. So until next time, from us at the Influence Hub to your unlimited possibilities. Goodbye.